Hello again. Um, I've been having some thoughts about the Shedeur Sanders, Dillon Gabriel, Browns quarterback situation, and I thought I'd just weigh in because I don't know. I feel like my take might be slightly original, but maybe it's just me thinking that. But the thought I was having is I feel that there's been talked about the owners conspiring to decide not to hire Shedeur based on his father and things, before the draft, which it could well be the case. And based on what we looked at, I feel like that seems like it's possible, if not likely. But the thing I think that's happening between Gabriel and Shedeur is I think that Stefanski actually likes Shedeur. I think he liked Shedeur from the beginning, and I think that um, I think because they spent a third round draft pick on Dillon Gabriel, which some people did like out of Oregon. I know some of the folks, the 33rd team podcast, I know talks a lot about liking that. About liking Gabriel they did before the draft. But I think what might be occurring is because the team spent a third round draft pick on Gabriel, that they have been doing everything they can to determine what they have, if anything, in him. Um, and I feel like Shedeur, to some degrees, has been enough of a steady Eddie. I think has shown enough poise and ability from the beginning that they've sort of, to some degree, shelved him because I think that they knew that they had something there kind of very quickly. And I think they're trying to sort out if Dillon Gabriel can grow, if he can progress. I mean, I saw things where he was like 69 for 116 throws or something, and people said he really not looked good. And I think that they are, as an organization, attempting to see if anything is there because I think that he has probably become the most likely cut candidate for the team. It seems like that could become a thing, and I think that they are. I think another piece of this that I wonder about, particularly with Shedeur continuously getting relegated back to fourth string person and put in the back, I think is one. I think again, Stefanski, I think likes the idea of they kind of think they know what they have in him, but I think it's also a trial by fire. I think they want to put him through every challenge they can to see if he can rise. It seems like he has, but I do think there's a one piece people aren't talking about again, which is that Shedeur got multiple speeding tickets for driving like over 100 miles an hour or whatever. Which again, people say it's not the end of the world, but I mean that's egregious, particularly in a community that you're supposed to be, you want to be positive. We've seen like, the barbecue that he had, the day that he had for the folks that had the fire. I mean, the amazing things he did when people were spending time at the ESPYs celebrating themselves, I mean, he definitely, but again, if you're going to be community minded, I'm sure, I would imagine the team is saying, this isn't enough to get you cut or whatever, but I do think there may be an aspect from the coaches of sort of like a tough love aspect of kind of, you gotta, so now we're going to relegate you back and again make you come from the bottom and kind of work your way up. And I know some again might feel conspiracy-ish and have every right. I think that I'm not trying to say my take on is necessarily right, and I'm also not saying that anyone else's is invalid in any way. But this is just the thought that I've had is I do think that I think it's less about punishment now at this point, or there's a conspiracy against Shedeur. I think that really that I think Kevin Stefanski is a very savvy coach, and I think that he understands what he has there, and I think he is wanting to. I think he's wanting to give Shedeur every opportunity to just build more and more confidence for himself, more and more ability, and to do it by knowing that he literally had to drag himself up from the bottom and get to the top. But I think that's the deal. And then again, I'm just going to say, just as far as the preseason game we saw, I was quite impressed. I thought Shedeur really looked poised. I thought he looked great. Not through all of it. I mean, there were some very obvious things that were not fantastic. It's sure addressed himself, but I do think there's some stuff to work on there. And yeah, I think the Browns have got a QB for themselves, which is awesome. I'm so it's great for the league, man. More talent, more the better. But yeah, that's my thoughts on that. Anyway, have a great day. Take it easy. Bye.